Hey, this is Ryan from 60 Cycle Hump, the Guitar Podcast, and I am holding in my hands a Fender Flying V. No, this isn't a guitar that's been leaked from the upcoming NAMM show, part of Fender's Parallel Universe series that's been leaked the past couple of days. This is my own creation. I've had this around for a couple of years now and never really got around to showing it off completely. I thought this was as good a time as any with all these new and interesting guitars coming out from Fender. This is my own take on, like a Fender gone Gibson, Fender alternate universe, parallel universe, whatever you want to call it sort of thing. I had this idea in my head for a couple of years and then finally got around to putting it together. It's been a slow process for me, and I think there's still, some things I want to do with it. Anyways, the concept is simple. What if Fender made a Flying V? Let me go through the parts of this thing. I did not cut this body. I am not skilled enough to do that, not at least as clean as this. This started out as a Hondo body that I bought off of Craigslist it was a full guitar. I bought the full guitar off of Craigslist, and I think it was like $60 or something like that. It had a single pickup in it, a humbucker, and it was painted black. And it, of course, had the Hondo neck, which I sold on Craigslist, I think, for like $20 or something like that. So I put this thing together originally with the black paint on it. I threw a Fender made in Mexico maple Strat neck on here, as you can see, and I cut this pickguard. I ordered a sheet of pickguard material. It's parchment colored, and that worked great when this guitar was black, but now that I've painted it gold, I kind of wish that I'd gone with white. It would have contrasted a little bit better. I started out with a set of Duosonic pickups in here, Mexican 90s Duosonic reissue pickups, and they sounded all right, but they didn't sound the way they sound in my actual Duosonic. I think there was something to do with how the guitar actually felt and how it resonated that makes them sound as good as they do in an actual Duosonic. So I swapped them out with a set of McNelly's that I had in another guitar, and they sound fantastic now. It really fits this guitar. I originally had it in mind that this would be a backup guitar for my surf rock band, and honestly, it doesn't have that sound. It doesn't have that feel. And so it hasn't gotten any playtime in that. And I just keep it around as a curiosity. It's the sort of thing like, if I sold this, I'd never get, the time cost back. I might be able to get like $300 or $400 for it, I'm sure. But I probably have that much, sunk into it. And I'd rather keep it around and hang it on the wall than, just get rid of it. But anyways, maybe someday I'll have a project that it'll be perfect for. The bridge, let's talk about the bridge. Originally I had just a standard like Mexican cheap style Strat bridge on here, and I was having a lot of problems. Like I said, I wanted it to be a backup for my surf rock band, and I have a Strat here that's got a really smooth, really nice feeling trim on it, which is actually, it's a Mexican stock trim, and it just feels really good, and I've been able to dial it in really nice. No matter what I do, I couldn't get that bridge to dial in the same on this guitar. And so I went and I dropped some money and I got one of these Blade Runner trims that's on here, which is honestly super nice bridge. Really, really nice. And I should probably move it to a guitar that I use more often. But it still had that same feel that I didn't like from the original bridge that I had on here. I think there's something going on with either the cut and length of the spring cavity back here, or just the guitar in general doesn't like it as much. I don't know. If you have opinions on how to make a Strat bridge feel looser and smoother, I'd love to hear it. And then still rest against the body, because this rests against the body, but it does with like this little bit of a clang, but it's right on the edge of where it would be floating. Just a little bit of pressure moves it, but then still it's like really firm. And the previous bridge was really firm on it too. I don't get it. I don't understand what I did different on the Strat that isn't working on this guitar. It really might be the length of the spring cavity. I haven't even measured it, to be honest, compared to a regular Strat. Other than that, normal Fender controls on here, volume, tone, 3-way switch, and a Stratocaster output jack right down there to finish the aesthetic look. Interesting thing I did is I hated how far forward and how long this guitar would feel when the Strat button was back here. So an early modification I did was move the Strat button to the back of the guitar body, which helps it sit back a little bit farther, a little bit more natural so that the neck doesn't feel like I'm all the way out here, because this is a long guitar. You hang the strap back there, it moves the whole thing kind of like that, and then you're playing your cowboy chords with your arm all the way extended. It's pretty ridiculous. So anyways, this is my project. I keep it around. If you want to see it in demos and things like that, let me know and I'll try to work it in. But like I said, it just doesn't really have a place in the things I'm playing lately. I'll bring it out every now and then for, you know, special functions at church or something like that. I should talk about the paint on it too. I did this finish on it, and it's probably the best finish I've done on a guitar so far. It has some imperfections, but it looks good from about 3 feet away. Other paint finishes I've done look good from about 10 to 15 feet away. I got it nice and glossy. I did a base coat of like a metallic spray paint, and then I sprinkled this really neat like craft glitter that I found at the craft store that's tinsel. It's not squares or circles of glitter or metal flake. It's little strips of tinsel. I'll put up a photo of a close-up of it, and it just looks fantastic under stage lights and out in the sun. There's parts where the glitter clumped up a little bit close together. There's parts where I got dust from my my garage in there and little imperfections here and there. It's definitely not a professional job. I'm a home hobbyist when it comes to refinishing, to say the least. But like I said, I think it's my best finish ever. I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, I think I'd rather do a white pickguard on here, but I got to cut it myself, so I just haven't got around to it. I also think that with the gold finish, a rosewood neck might look a little bit better on this thing. All right, I'm going to play out with some random noodling. Like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude and crude comments. I swear I can deal with it. I've got the emotional maturity. As long as they aren't racist or abusive in violent ways, I'm fine with whatever you guys have to say. All right, thanks for watching. Later, guys.